Hey, Catalyst crew. Welcome to Catalyst Corner, episode 121. I'm Evan.
I'm Jim.
And we've got a lot on the docket today. We've got quite a few movies and TV shows. We're going to talk about some changes in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And we got a couple other things in the pipeline for you. How you doing, Jim?
Doing okay. Got the holidays upon us,
yes.
It's a busy time of year.
It is. And we've been straight out.
Yes.
Between the Etsy store, we've been we got the queue cleared. The queue is cleared.
Yes.
So everybody that's ordered from us, thank you.
Yes,
Your
thank
gifts
you.
are on the way.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Or happy holidays, happy Hanukkah,
Whatever you want.
Chanukah, as Smokey Robinson
That's
says.
right.
Mall's doing great.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Killing it. So, if you're in the New England area, you want to stop at the Manchester Mall, we got unique gifts there. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, the cutoff for orders is over.
Yeah.
So,
You had your chance.
yeah, you're gonna have to do some after, apologizing
Yes.
and get some gifts after the holiday. It's busy out there.
Yeah.
It is. I had to restock the mall today, and
Yeah.
I'm driving, and I got to tell you, people drive like lunatics.
It's crazy. Absolutely
Let me
crazy.
tell you what happened.
Oh, okay.
So I'm driving into the mall, right?
Yeah.
And it's crowded.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just, I'm very focused. I'm just, I got one thing to do, just restock the mall, not, gifting is,
Right.
That's one of the perks of being able to make everything
Right,
is like,
exactly.
we just make the
Yep.
gifts. We don't have to buy them. So the way the mall works, at least the Mall of New Hampshire, there's like 3 lanes. There's one that wraps around the mall. There's a middle one that kind of goes to like Macy's and a
Yep.
couple other anchor stores, and then there's one that'll like turn you around and wrap you around the other side of
Yes.
the mall, right? And a lot of people will hit that middle lane, but they actually want to wrap around
Right.
the mall. So this SUV is in the middle lane.
Okay.
There's a truck behind the SUV.
Oh, this is going to go well.
So the SUV kind of, realizes he's in the wrong lane and merges in.
Okay.
And it wasn't,
Nothing egregious.
right.
It was
wasn't going to
okay.
be an accident or anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you live in the area, like, yeah,
you kind of
idiots
expect,
do this
yeah.
kind of shit. Like, it's just that.
Yeah, you always pay attention
right,
for that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just that annoying thing that happens, right? This truck wasn't having it.
Oh,
So he lays on the horn at first,
Okay.
right? And I'm like, okay, that justified. Like, he did kind of cut you off, right? Then what the guy does is slams on the gas, goes into the other lane, hits a speed bump, goes over the speed bump, right? And then cuts off the SUV.
oh, wow.
Just to hit traffic, though.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, all right, well, you did it. You're one car length ahead of it. You got him.
Right.
Good
Yeah.
job, Chief.
Yeah,
Like,
great.
it's nuts out there.
Yeah, it is.
Everyone, be careful.
Right, yeah.
Be careful.
Be
You don't know.
careful.
You don't know what's going on.
No, not at all.
What have you been watching?
So, I'm gonna go Stephen King on this episode.
It's funny because I'm going to go Stephen King on
Okay,
this
good,
episode.
good. We might have watched the same stuff.
You may have.
So the finale of Welcome to Derry just ended.
It did.
Loved this series.
What-
Loved it.
All right, so that was one of mine too.
Okay,
So we're just
well, let's
gonna
talk about
let's
it.
dive into that, right?
Yeah.
Talk about taking something, right? Mm-hmm. And we always get pretty hard on this, right? Is we always say, you can tell your own stories if you stick to the source material.
Right.
And here is a perfect case study of sticking to the source material, but telling your own story and hitting a fucking home run.
Right. Absolutely.
It is so from episode 1 all the way to episode 8, phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
It's great.
It's so well done. And the thing is, it ties in pieces from the newer movies, right?
Right.
But
in a way that makes sense.
right. So you're making it all make sense. There's a little bit of of plot holes, but not a tremendous amount. That's really
nothing
really bad.
egregious.
No, like for instance, right? there was always the speculation that Marge was Richie's mother, right? Because her name is Maggie, right? And so that was all, and then obviously it was confirmed. Spoilers, it was confirmed. Now, the plot hole is, well, if she knows about what is coming with her son, why wasn't he aware?
Well, it's probably you can explain that away, though.
But that's what I'm saying,
you
right?
can say like, oh, as you become an adult in Derry, you probably forget and that type of stuff.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, so a small plot hole, but not something that you couldn't explain away.
Right.
It's not a gaping wound of, you know what I mean?
Right. I agree.
So it's those little things, like that's how tight the storytelling is. That
it was tight.
Yeah.
It was a tightly told story. And here's the thing: you don't even see Bill until episode, I think, 5.
Right.
And the and I know it was because of scheduling conflicts and whatever. Like that wasn't the original plan, but it works. So
I'm glad it was.
Oh, it works.
The schedule made it that way because I'm glad he didn't come right out.
It works so well because there's just that anticipation of like, when is the clown going to show up, right? And that just works so good. And here's Bill Skarsgård in top form.
I thought he was better in this
than he was in this movie. Yeah, 100%. Well, it's more polished now, right? He's more polished of an actor.
Yes.
And here's the thing: much more frightening.
Yeah, totally.
Much more frightening of a character.
Totally.
Right? I just think it hits. It just checks every box off.
And then, and I like that you've created the universe, right? Because, I mean, you have The Shining in there, you have Shawshank Redemption in there.
What it allows you to do is, I've always wanted them to take a stab at doing The Dark Tower, right? But that's such a monumental series to tackle.
Right.
But what this kind of does is it kind of lays the groundwork for that, where it's like showing you that, like, hey, look, everything is interconnected in the Kingverse, right? And you're going to Shawshank. There's mention of the hotel. Clearly, The Shining. I mean, Doc's in there.
Dick Halloran.
Yeah, Dick Halloran's
front and center.
Right. Right. So you kind of get all those elements of, so all of this shit is just happening at the same time in the same universe, which, again, if you've read The Dark Tower, you kind of, you're familiar with the Crimson King and Randall Flagg and all that type of stuff. But, seeing them weave it in, and again, they do a great job of showing more than telling.
Yes.
Type of thing. I thought that they handled the time period really well. I liked the sort of, there was that undercurrent of racism and things that they had to deal with.
Right.
And I mean, are the kids aren't the loser club at the end of the day, right? No. But still very likable. You're still rooting for them, spoilers if you haven't seen it yet. When Richie died in episode 7, you feel bad. That's a loss you feel, and then he shows up at the end of episode 8.
That was pretty touching. Yeah,
right. That's what I'm saying. But, there were beats that hit.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You had to. You knew a main kid was going to die. It had to. Inevitably, it had to be that way. Now, the only thing that I wonder is, what becomes of Lily, right? Like, that's one of the only things that...
Yeah, but you can explain... Oh, Lily, yeah. That's something we're kind of... We don't...
Because she's the only one we don't... Because we know what happens to Will, right? We know, obviously, Will is the father of Mike Hanlon, and we know Mike is one of the members of the Losers.
Right. And then Mag is...
Right. We know
Richie's,
she... Right.
Right.
So we know that, and Ronnie leaves.
Right. So she forgets.
So either she forgets or she comes back and that's the wife of Will. But either way, we can kind of understand.
Either way, there's a path for her.
Right.
So what we don't have is an ending for Lily.
Yeah, and since she was like the main character, I'm just kind of amazed that we don't know what becomes of her.
Now I wonder if they were too afraid to make her Bev's mother, because Bev's mother kills herself, right, and which we see at the end of the movie anyway. But I just wonder if they were, kind of too afraid to, or they didn't want to like kill off Lily.
Yeah.
So instead of making it Lily, they could have made it whatever Bev's mother's name is.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of where I thought it was going. I'm like, well, she kind of has the mental illness, and the mother had the mental illness and all that, and like, I could see that kind of playing out.
But even that, even seeing Bev at the end, right? Like, wasn't
awesome.
expecting that, right?
Awesome.
Not at all. Like that. I've never heard any mention that was even a possibility.
And here's the thing that I think is very interesting about this whole experiment that they've done, is a lot of times, especially in the horror genre, right? The more you know, the less something is scary. Mm-hmm. And I think that's not the case with this, because we get Pennywise Prime.
Right.
And he's arguably more terrifying in this than he was in It Chapter 1 and Chapter 2.
Right. Well, and I loved how, now we know why he takes the form of Pennywise the clown, right? We know because because Pennywise the dancing clown attracted children. He was such a hit with kids.
Right.
He's like, oh, all the other forms, although scary in their own way, this was, I have...
Right, it'll lure you in.
Then I become scary, but I'm very accessible to children.
Right. It makes him like an anglerfish.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, okay, great. That's a great explanation as to why he settled on this form when he can virtually be anything he wants.
Now, how do you feel about their plans going forward? So from what I understand, they have two more seasons.
Yes.
And then depending on how those seasons do, there's also the possibility of an It Chapter 3.
Yeah.
So they've already said that the seasons are going to go back in time.
Right.
So the next season is going to be 1935, and then the final season will be 1908.
Yes.
Right? Which I'm fine with. I think if we're just going to get more of these kind of stories, I hope it doesn't lose its steam. I think there's probably enough there to make it interesting.
Yeah.
There is that thing, though, where the stakes aren't really that high, right? Because we know that we know it's just going to be a continuation. What kind of interests me is this It Chapter 3. Mm-hmm. Like, so what's going on here? Because the losers won.
Right.
So what kind of story are we telling in It Chapter 3? Which I think could be, I'm cool. You want to do an It universe? Do it. Because you got it, as long as Skarsgård's attached.
Right.
Because it dies without him.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting how you're going to use this as, he's through time he's manipulated the town and all the bad that's happened within that town, and that those bad things are catalysts for things that happen in the future. So if not for this, then this, you know what I mean? So
right.
It'll be interesting to see all the chaos and destruction that he causes, which continuously leads to that next big issue that the town faces.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on board for it. I mean, I think if they can keep the strength that they did with the and again, I went into this going like, because initially Skarsgård wasn't even attached, right? And I was like, well, this is going to be a failed project. And then he signed up, and I was like, okay, well, maybe. Right. And then I watched the first couple of episodes, and I was like, well, where's the clown? And then it clicked with me, and I'm like, oh, no. You're making me wait for this.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see what's going on here.
Yeah, it's definitely a series
it's
that
number one. It's number one on HBO.
And deservedly so. I think that this is a must-watch series.
Agree.
Yeah. The other thing I caught is I caught The Long Walk.
So did I.
Did you catch it?
Yeah.
Is that the other? Okay, let's talk about this one then.
Well, what did you think of it? Why don't we start there?
I thought it was okay.
Okay, so I liked it. because it kind of, I guess I didn't know what I was getting into.
Right.
And the way they market it, I think, is wrong, because to me, it's not really a horror film.
No.
Is it horrible?
Yeah, it's violent.
No, is it like, is the situation horrible? Yes, but to me, it's much more dystopian, kind of that sort of area than it is like a horror movie, right?
Right.
I thought there was a lot of heart to the characters. It's Philip Seymour Hoffman's kid.
Yeah.
Was Mike.
Yeah.
Or whatever the guy's name is.
Yeah,
And, I thought there was a lot of heart to it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought there was a lot of...
Yeah, the only thing that I didn't quite get was the ending.
Like the very ending, where it's kind of abrupt.
Well, what I mean is...
Well, did they kill him?
Who?
The kid who won.
Here's my thing, right? In the book... the main character is the winner, right?
Right, the one we thought was going to win wins.
So that's who wins in the book, but in this one...
They really subvert your expectations.
Right, but so what I don't get is, so the kid who basically is homeless, has nothing...
Right.
Really just, hey, I'm going to give back to the world, right? Okay, fair enough. And then he dissuades him from carrying out what he wanted to do, ultimately then goes and uses that as his wish, right? But now, I assume he's not going to get his prize, right? Because the general is dead, right? So my assumption is he doesn't get the prize. So at the end of the day, he gets nothing. Like, he did nothing.
Here's the tightrope you walk with that, right? So to me, the film was about brotherhood, right?
Sure.
And I think that's just what they went with the ending too, is instead of really fleshing out all the ramifications of him choosing the gun as the prize or whatever, instead of helping out people and things like that, where, it's like, it would have been, if you suspend your belief a little bit and go, okay, this is really just a brotherhood thing. Otherwise, it makes no sense. Like, why wouldn't he want to be altruistic with his wish and, make all of this bullshit stop, right? But I think it does, it's weird because it hits hard in the guise of the film is about brothership, right?
Yeah.
Or it's just like, oh man, like they really did form.
Yeah, I mean they did form,
bond,
they absolutely.
And it's like, even at the end of it, like they were so tight that he threw it all away to, keep his brother going, and it works for me to there.
Right.
It's just that as soon as you start going like, yeah, but it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Right.
Because I agree with you. It's like, nah, he would have, like, that doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, just at the end of the day, he achieved nothing. Realistically, he achieved nothing.
Right. All he did was...
He just found friends for a short amount of time.
He killed the figurehead.
Yeah, which
you could always put another figurehead in power.
But that's the thing, right? I mean...
Right.
We can... It's not like all of a sudden this stopped just because the general is dead, because the next person in line just takes over, right? I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the assumption is, well, I mean, he just murdered somebody, so therefore, that doesn't... Because, again, this isn't... As dystopian as it is, this was something they signed up for. This is not... I mean, I know the world is in shambles,
right,
and everybody is poverty-stricken and what have you, but this was still something that people signed up for to get this reward at the end of it. But it's not like there's no law and order. So, I mean, you just murdered somebody. And even though, your wish was the gun... Right, you don't get to murder somebody just because you got the gun. So my assumption is either he's going to jail for the rest of his life, or they would have murdered him as he's walking away.
Right, yeah.
And so and somebody else would just become the general, and this would still keep going. So, the ending to me was just like that makes zero sense to me.
I struggle with it because I think, because I really got caught up in the themes of
Sure.
the kindred spirit and the brotherhood, and we're in this together type of thing, and any family that you choose, like that kind
Right.
of type of stuff. And so thematically, it all worked for me, right?
Yep.
And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. And then a couple days later, I was like, I don't know if that was. Like, if that's how it really would have played out, though. So it's tricky, because, like, in the moment, I was like, oh, that was really, that had a lot of meaning.
Yeah.
And then a couple days later, I was like, yeah, I don't know. That doesn't make a ton of sense. Like,
Yeah,
that's very short-sighted.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it was good up until the end, like a typical Stephen King. Just couldn't stick the landing. Just the ending was weak.
Not a bad flick, though.
No, up until that part, very, very good. Overall, a good watch. I would recommend the watch of it for sure.
Yeah, the journey more so than the destination.
Yeah, because it was interesting that
I thought everyone that was in it, did well.
Yeah,
played their parts well.
Yeah.
You found yourself rooting for some of the kids, for sure.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. I mean, I'm not
a horror though.
No.
I don't like that they classify that as a horror. I don't think it fits traditional horror tropes.
The other thing that I was like the father, right? I'm like, you made a choice. Like, again, could they still have killed the father if he denounced what he was doing and got in line, right? Yeah, they could have, right? So even if he said, "Okay, I'm going to stop what I'm doing. I'm going to follow orders. I'm not going to, do anything like this anymore." Could they have still killed him? Sure. I guess there's always that risk, but I don't know why what you were doing and teaching your kid stuff that you knew was against the law. I'm not so, like, why is being murdered more important than making sure you're still there to provide for your family? Like,
well, it's just the plot point.
No, I know, but
day.
it was, to me, it was like,
yeah, it's the noble sacrifice type of thing.
I guess,
which I think works much better in cinema than it does in actuality.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where if you're living in a dystopian world like this, right? And I mean, and you have these, awful laws that are in place, but they are in place, whether you agree with them or not. They are what they are, and the general is just upholding the law of the land, right? I'm inclined to be less angry at him for doing his job than the father, choosing to be murdered instead of not teaching your kid things that are illegal.
Right. I get it. I mean, I think it.
Like, I'd be more mad at my father for
leaving me behind
than the general for carrying out. Like, he didn't have to murder me if I chose to fall in line. You chose the path of getting murdered. So how, I know that it sucks that the general did it, but again, those are the laws, and he carried out the law.
Like I said, it's one of those things that I think thematically works really well in cinema.
Yeah.
Right? But I think if you look at reality, there aren't too many people making that choice.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So, yeah, now, is it my movie of the year? No.
See, to me, if he chose to fall in line and then he murdered him anyway, even after he told him he'd be fine.
Well, you get the same story beat, and then you can still.
But now the general
is a piece of shit.
Right. And your vengeance.
Well, he's a liar now on top of it all.
And so I can understand your vengeance for wanting, to spend your entire days wanting to murder him. But I don't. But he wasn't like that. Wasn't to me like that was your father's choice. He made that choice. The general just carried through with the choice the father made. He was given an option.
Surprised it was Mark Hamill. Didn't realize that at first either. You know, bit of a chameleon, that guy.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, obviously he was using one of his many voices. It wasn't his normal voice, but
still, nice little surprise there.
Did very well.
Yeah, a couple good Stephen King ones.
Yeah.
So I caught a few more.
Okay.
So I don't know if I told you this already, but I watched Frankenstein.
Oh, did you watch it?
I did.
Okay. And what did you think of that?
I think it is.
I know we talked, obviously, in the last cast about it, that you hadn't seen it yet.
So I watched it.
Yeah.
I think it is some of the highest art.
Absolutely.
It is so good. And here's the thing. They change a lot.
Oh, yeah.
They change a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
Because the monster in the books is much more ambiguous whether he's, you know, he is the victim, right? And Frankenstein is the monster.
Right.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
But the things that the monster does in the books make him a much more ambiguous character.
Sure.
Because in the movie, he's very, very sympathetic throughout the whole thing.
Yes.
And there's nothing that makes you go, man, there's a lot of complex, like, I don't know how I feel about anybody in this.
Right.
And I think, you know, I think it still works.
Yeah.
Right? That's the biggest thing to me, is I think it still sort of works. I think visually it's probably the most visually stunning movie of the year.
Beautiful.
I think for the most part the acting was all top notch.
Mm-hmm.
I can't decide if I like Jacob Elordi or whatever his name is as the monster. I'm not 100% with his portrayal of it. I did think it was strange that they made him sort of infantile. I understand why, from a story perspective, it makes you kind of sympathize with him. And, you know, there's that growth of, no, there is a man in there. Mia Goth was great.
Yep.
Oscar Isaacs was great. I mean, it was it's incredible that in 2024 we had Nosferatu, and now in 2025 we have Frankenstein, and we sort of get these high art Victorian Gothic films that are fantastic,
right?
But just such a rarity.
But the what's crazy is you have these two films that are absolute high art, and they're based on monsters.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, you think about, you know, some people would say, well, that's, you know, lowbrow, right? You know, monsters, that's a more of a lowbrow form of entertainment. And then you look at these two movies and it's like, no.
No, see, that's the trick of it, though, is that the monster is just a vehicle to deliver the highbrow of it. Is it, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like, it's not a slasher movie. Right? It's not a monster movie in the traditional sense of like a Godzilla or an Alien
this
or
isn't
anything
just
like
smash
that.
and
No.
Yeah.
This is, you know, complex issues being brought up by these monsters that we have to confront the darkness of man that you don't get without them.
Right.
And it's just so that's the thing is I understand to a degree why the Academy is very anti horror film when they dish out their awards, right?
Sure.
But to me, Nosferatu and now Frankenstein both belong, maybe not Best Picture or something to that degree, but they belong in categories where they can be nominated because the stories they're telling are so complex.
Yeah, but here's the thing. When you look at 2025, right, your Best Pictures, Sinners, Weapons, Frankenstein.
All horror movies.
All horror movies. Your Best Pictures to come out this year.
That's the thing is you know, there have been some fantastic horror films this year.
And again, I've said my piece on Sinners, I've said my piece on Weapons, I've said my piece on Frankenstein, but I'm not going to deny the fact that when you look at it in totality, that's your top three. That's your top three
I would
for
say,
movies.
I would say Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been anything that like really blew me away. That DiCaprio flick did pretty good.
Oh, it did very poorly though.
Well, I think
financially,
I think critically it did
critically
well.
that's great, but financially it was a massive flop.
They don't care.
No,
the Academy
they
doesn't
don't
care about.
But I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you got these other movies that not only are critically acclaimed but financially successful.
So I guess for me, right, if you're putting Frankenstein up against Wicked for Good, right? And I'm not shitting on Wicked for Good. It did good enough at the box office. Like it, people didn't love it as much as
Wicked for Good flopped.
Did it?
Oh, it's doing terrible.
Oh, I don't know.
It's a massive
heard people
flop.
didn't like it as much as the first one.
Massive
I haven't
flop.
seen it yet. But if that's what you're putting it up against, right? I mean, Frankenstein is far and beyond.
Well, Wicked for Good is a popcorn flick. It is what it is, right? It's made for, that audience.
Right. It's the second part of a,
And whether, it's a musical. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Frankenstein is in a totally different league than a Wicked for Good as far as, general appeal or what should be general appeal.
Well, to me, it's just a better done film.
Well, besides that, though, I mean, yes, absolutely that.
You gotta, Del Toro's a very interesting filmmaker, right? Because, visually, he's always in the top of his class.
Yeah.
Far and away. Storytelling, sometimes he's hit or miss.
Sure.
Right? But I think this was a hit.
Yeah.
Frankenstein was
hit.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And then I caught one more.
Okay.
Black Phone 2.
Oh, did you catch it? I
did.
have yet to see that.
I won't hit you with spoilers or anything. You saw the first Black Phone.
Yeah. Oh,
did you like it?
I did like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot
Yeah.
too. The second one was okay.
Okay.
People seem to really like it.
Yeah.
To me, it was just okay. It was pretty long.
Yeah, was it?
It took a while for things to start happening, so there was that whole element of it.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know. It definitely wasn't as like I had a lot of dread with Black Phone, when the kid's sitting in that basement and everything, and you don't really have that in this one, right? It's more of a supernatural kind of horror film. It was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like Black Phone, you'll like.
Well, without me having seen it, this, and I plan on it, but my initial thought about it was, do we need it?
We don't.
Right, and I didn't think we did.
So that's the thing is, I don't think we needed it. Ethan Hawke is the grabber. He's still in top form there.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And they got the kids from the first movie to reprise their roles. So like it's all fine.
Right.
Right? But it's just one of those things where it's like, it's a 2-hour movie. Did we really need, like, it gives you a little bit of, a little bit more backstory and things like that. But I don't know. I think Black Phone 1 is really, really well done as a standalone. I don't know that it needed the sequel.
Yeah.
And I think that's more, my partner really liked it.
Yeah.
My partner was really, into the whole ride.
Okay.
I, on the other hand, was more like, it was fine.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, I'll catch it eventually, but
not a bad film. Just one of those ones where it's like, I don't know that it doesn't make the first film lesser.
Right, which is good.
But I don't know that it adds.
Wasn't needed.
Right. I don't think it adds so much more.
Right.
That it, especially to be 2 hours long.
That's like, for a horror movie. That's way too long.
Unless you're Frankenstein.
Right.
Yeah,
well.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying it was long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's we haven't seen each other in a while, so I've been building up the the repertoire. But some good stuff. Some good stuff this year. You know, Stephen King is on fire right now.
Yes,
got to give him some props for that, because I got to tell you, it might be my top show. We'll see. I know Fallout is coming out soon. I'm excited to see that. But right now, Welcome to Derry is way up there.
Welcome to Derry is absolutely, that to me, anybody that's listening, that's a must watch.
Especially, I mean, if you like it.
Right. Exactly.
Because it adds to
It adds quite a bit.
Right. And that's the thing is, I like to look at this stuff as a case study, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that, go back to The Witcher, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could have told your own stories.
Sure.
This proves that you can tell your own stories in the universe, but you got to respect the source material.
Right.
Because Welcome to Derry it's not a Stephen King book.
Right.
It's its own fucking story.
Mm-hmm.
But it sticks to the script.
Right. Right. It pulled elements from the book that weren't necessarily established in the movies. Right, so you took a few elements,
right,
and you built and you created and crafted this whole season based upon some of those things that were left out, and added to it.
But you didn't shy away from the fact that Pennywise is a force to be reckoned with,
right,
and you don't shy away from the fact that the loser club, are a special circumstance. Like, these kids did what they had to do.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't beat Pennywise.
No.
So I think you got to play within the universe that you can tell your own story, but you got to play in that universe.
Right. There are certain beats you need to hit and certain elements of the lore that you need to tell. And if you keep within that and then tell your own story around those parameters, you're going to have something great on your own.
Here's the thing. 3 out of the 4 main characters, or 5 of the 5 group of kids were girls.
Yeah.
So it's not about any of that type of girl boss shit or any of that. It's like we sided with these group of kids. We were rooting for them. Mm-hmm. We were 100% on board with them. Doesn't matter if it's a group of guys or a group of girls. Like, that's the argument we've always made, is that shit is irrelevant until you make it, a story beat. And as soon as it becomes a story beat, your audience goes, well, fuck this. I don't want this shit.
Right.
So
exactly.
That's what I got to say about that.
Yeah.
So, some big shakeups in Hollywood.
Yeah, crazy. Absolutely.
So Warner Brothers looks like it's going to be going to Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that?
So here's my thought. I'm not advocating for movie theaters to close.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck if they do. Okay? Meaning, everybody's complaining about Netflix and what's his name? Ted Sarandos.
Yeah.
Right? Came out and said, the philosophy is streaming.
Movie theaters to him.
In movie theaters to him
value.
Right. And I look at it and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't care about going to the movies.
Well, so here's the problem though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pre-pandemic, the movies was something culturally we did.
Sure.
Everybody went to the movies, right? That was that was a place to go. You'd go on a Friday night. It would be a date night type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
We'd all do it. Then the pandemic hits, right?
Yeah.
And that phases out.
Right.
And when the pandemic is over, instead of them trying to make changes to make it more appealing to go to the movies, they don't do anything.
No.
So,
except raise ticket prices.
Except raise ticket prices and raise concession prices.
Right, because they had to make up for
the lack
of
audience.
Yep.
Right. So the question becomes, right, because now you've had a year, 2 years of being able to watch things in the comfort of your own home,
mm-hmm.
right? what is the benefit of me going to the movies? And you can argue, well, bigger screen, bigger sound system,
Sure.
all that. Sure, and that's fine to a point. But the theaters are gross, the floors are sticky, the seats are comfortable at best.
Yeah.
And a lot of the theater etiquette has been lost. People are on their cell phones and things like that. People
it's
talk.
loud.
It's loud. And again, I think for $7 to $10, maybe you put up with that shit.
Sure.
But for $18 a ticket,
and the thing is,
I don't see the benefit.
Yeah, the thing is, I can watch a movie in the comfort of my home when I want. I don't have to pick a specific time. I don't have to drive anywhere in any type of inclement weather to go. Again, you're talking like, let's say, if it holds up, right? Which I don't think it will, but Avengers Doomsday is scheduled to come out around this time next year. We could be in the middle of a massive snowstorm around this area at this time next year. And so, do you want to spend, do you have to, okay, we got to pick a specific time. We might have to fight inclement weather. Then you get there, high ticket prices. You might be sitting next to some asshole that won't shut their mouth about, how much they think they know about Marvel. Like, all of that stuff is such a turnoff.
Well, I think the other issue is with the rise of like TikTok, right, and people really getting into short form content. There's that lack of attention span, right?
Sure.
And for me, right, there used to be something very magical about going to the movies.
Yeah.
Right?
Without a doubt.
And I went and saw Superman this summer in the movie theater, right? And I was like, okay, this is going to be the closest thing post-pandemic that I'm going to see, that I'm going to dish out the money for, that is going to give me any kind of experience like I had, say, in Endgame or whatever, right? And it wasn't there. It's not that it was a bad experience, right? Because it wasn't. It wasn't a bad experience, but the magic isn't there anymore.
Right. I mean, look, if you're, when you're a child, young, preteen, teen, what have you, right? All your friends can get together. You can go to a movie, and then you can talk about it the next day at school. Okay, you have some event there, right? For me and you, we're going to get together and talk about it like we are, whether we saw it at our house or whether we saw it at the movie theater. Right? So there is no desire to go to the movies to go see this movie that's coming out. We just want to see the movie in whatever capacity that might be.
Right, but there used to be something there.
Oh, it was a tremendous event, and when I was young, but that's what you had. You didn't have streaming. Streaming was decades away.
And I think that's another issue, right? I think where streaming has become the behemoth that it is, right? There's that element of, okay, I can't watch this right now because it's in theaters, but there's 900. I'll just watch something else until it comes out on streaming.
Sure.
Right? And I think that instead of accepting that the landscape has fundamentally changed, and I'm not saying you couldn't have dumped a ton of capital into movie theaters and made them better, but they didn't.
Right.
So if you don't reinvent the experience and make it, and I'm not talking about fucking 4D and all that bullshit. I'm talking about just the movie going, your base movie going experience. If you don't reinvent that to make that a better, more enjoyable way to watch films, or even bring some of the magic back, then nothing you can do is going to put asses in seats.
Right. But here's the thing, right? Supergirl is scheduled to come out next summer.
Right.
Right? Which is a Warner Brothers. If I will probably be seeing Supergirl at my house.
Right.
I probably will not be going to the movie theaters to see Supergirl. So if you took it away from me, I'm still okay, because I wasn't going to go to the movie theater to go watch Supergirl anyway.
That's all it means for you.
Right, but if I get to see Supergirl the day it releases at my house, oh, yeah. I mean, when we were in the pandemic and we got to see the Suicide Squad, or we got to see Wonder Woman 1984, or you got to see Black Widow, right?
That was great.
Okay, I can, the day of, I can get off work and go sit on my couch and go watch this first run movie right now today.
Right.
Sure.
It's just the, it's, so I think with this sale, right, I have mixed feelings about it. So I'm glad it didn't go to Paramount. I think that would have been the wrong choice. I don't think that they are equipped to handle Warner Brothers as a company.
Yeah, probably not.
I'm concerned about WB Games because Netflix says that has no value to them, which I understand. They're not a gaming company.
Right.
But the problem is they have so many good IPs there that, well, what does that mean? Does that operate? Do you sell them off? Does that operate independently? Do you allow the studios to buy themselves back? So I'm worried about that from the video game perspective because there's a lot of good titles.
Yeah.
That you can't just buy this and shut all that down.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm concerned about that. But as far as like Netflix taking stewardship of these IPs, I mean, who else was going to do? Maybe Universal, but they kind of bailed out of the talks.
Yeah, Comcast said no as far as,
and I don't think Paramount. Like when I think Paramount, there's nothing where I'm like, oh yeah, Paramount, man.
I mean, the only major concern I have with this purchase is DC Comics.
Sure,
because I don't know.
So I worry about the video games, and you worry about the comics.
Because again, based upon what Netflix is, I could see them wanting to go to a digital platform for comics and stop physical printing of comic books, and that would bother me.
The other thing I think, and I think this does hurt us. I don't think it's good to consolidate these companies. I think it makes Netflix too big of a company. Because now you're going from Warner Brothers, Paramount, Disney, Netflix, Universal, Comcast, to Netflix, Universal, Paramount, Disney. So now there's only 4.
Yeah.
And to me, that hurts consumers ultimately.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you don't, the thing is, it could go either way, right? Either you could have a great love for the IP, or you could have disdain for the IP, and then it goes away, and it's trapped behind a vault where you can't get at it ever because the new owners, they don't care. They don't care about the IP.
They want to own it and just let it rot.
Right. They just
and part of
to have it.
Part of the concern, I guess, is that Netflix has not been hitting home runs with other people's IPs.
Right.
They do fine with their own original stuff, but as soon as they start playing in other people's sandboxes, we don't have too many home runs with that. I mean, case in point, Witcher.
Right, and you have the same problem with Disney, right? So I mean, the big IPs are being owned and run by people that are having a very difficult time making them valuable at all, and that's that's going to continue, and that's why I'm saying if Netflix doesn't do things with, say, Looney Tunes, or doesn't do anything with DC,
that's part of the problem.
Then what happens with these IPs?
Right, that's part of the problem. Is that where do we go from here? So Netflix buys Warner Brothers, right? Does that mean HBO gets absorbed into Netflix? Because now because HBO was number 3,
right?
I mean, you had Netflix, Hulu, HBO, and then to lesser extents Disney Plus and Paramount, right? Now if Netflix is absorbing Warner Brothers, did they absorb HBO Max?
Well, they said they're going to keep it separate. But
well, they said for
how
now.
long?
They said for now.
Right. For how long? I mean, eventually, why would you? I mean, you're going to absorb the catalogs,
right?
And you're going to shut down the streaming service because you are the streaming service. You're the top streaming service. So why would you need to keep HBO Max as a separate entity? You just absorb all of the whole library,
right?
And anything that was going to be put out. So like this. Welcome to Derry, right? Okay, you're going to get 2 more seasons. Well, why does it need to be on HBO Max? It just is on Netflix. You know what I mean? Like, what would be the point? Like, you're gonna keep that whole production portion of it going,
right?
But it doesn't have to be put on a platform like HBO Max anymore.
I just think it's a dangerous game.
No, it's extremely dangerous.
Not that there was an easy answer. Again, Zaslav, absolute. Again, I don't know if he was a failure of a CEO or if he set out to do what he was supposed to do, and that was to gut.
I think that the amount of money that the shareholders are going to make with this sale, Zaslav did what he was supposed to do.
So again,
I think that you could, everybody is going to put the blame on Zaslav. I think this was what he was meant. Build it up enough.
He's a CEO that comes in and guts the right things,
right,
to make it ready for sale,
right, and it's going to have a massive amount of return on that sale. So I have a hard time saying that Zaslav didn't do what he was hired to do. We may not like it. We may not. We may wish that Warner Brothers turned around and was able to self-sustain so it doesn't get sold. But
right, but it went through that thing. When you start getting into like venture capitalists that ruin everything.
Mm-hmm.
AT&T bought it and saddled it with a ton of debt,
right,
and then sold it off to Discovery.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of when you see that thing, that happen. It's basically the death sentence of a company.
Right. Right. Yeah. So inevitably it was going to get sold. It wasn't going to be able to maintain on its own for too much longer. It just had to get to a position where it was sellable and had value coming back to the shareholders. And to that, Zaslav did what he was required to do. So,
I get concerned because again, this is basically the Disney Fox merger again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like they've been shitting out gold since they merged with Fox.
No, it's been awful.
Right. So my concern is that, I guess in a perfect world, there'll be separate entities. You'll have your HBO. DC will still be doing its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
The video game companies will still be doing, again, all the money will funnel to Netflix, which, it doesn't matter where it ends up.
Mm-hmm.
And, maybe this will be, I can't foresee it being a good thing. It never is.
No, and then it's also there's inevitably going to be change. Like I know they said James Gunn in his studio, that's all going to remain in place. He's not going to get fired, but there's got to be change there. Now, is that change good? Because a lot of people don't like what James Gunn is doing, and maybe people want somebody to now he has to answer to. Or, does it become where they don't care and they give him even more latitude to do whatever he wants and people, because that's the thing, right? I mean, the Supergirl trailer came out. Have you seen the Supergirl trailer?
I did.
There were a lot of people shitting on it, and I'm like, well, why? It doesn't look
fine.
bad.
Looks good. Lobo looks cool.
Yeah.
Like, nothing negative I have to say.
Like, I don't understand how we're pulling up, and it's like, oh, you look at Supergirl, they're criticizing, like, oh, it's going to be this, like, modernized, this, way the Supergirl is, she's going to be a, whatever, like,
No, tonally it seems very similar to Superman.
And it's like, it's a trailer. I can't get too up or down one way or another. How many times have we seen a tremendous trailer and the movie is awful? Or we've seen a trailer like this, and people can have their dislike of it or whatever, and then the movie's really good. Like, I just think sometimes, sometimes, and we talked about this with YouTube in general, and the people that, do a lot of this, is it's just like, hey, I don't like James Gunn, therefore I'm just going to shit on anything that he touches.
Right, yeah, like the rage baiters.
Right, exactly.
And the thing is like, I liked Superman.
Yeah, oh, me too.
So as far as I'm concerned, like, I didn't watch that trailer and go, ew. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
I liked Superman, yeah. So you still got me.
I mean, I'm interested enough based upon the trailer that I'm interested to see more, right? Just like just like where they're talking with Doomsday, right? They have the, with...
Yeah, we got that Captain America leak.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Sure.
I don't know that Doomsday is going to be a good movie, but I'm intrigued. Like, okay, I'm interested. I know you're going to have, one with Thor. You're going to have one with Doctor Doom.
Right.
Okay.
They're going to build it up until they drop the trailer. Right. I think it's interesting that it's going to be in the wintertime. I don't know if that's because we're going to get Spider-Man in the summer and they just don't want to, compete or whatever. Traditionally, though, these are summertime movies.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to move out of the slot it's in, because right now it's slotted to open the same time as Dune 3.
That's a terrible.
And you're not gonna go against Dune 3.
No way.
Because Dune 3 owns all the high end theaters.
Not even just that. I mean, Dune is Fox.
Right.
So you're not going to compete against yourself.
Is Dune Fox? I thought Dune was...
Well, maybe it's not. Maybe the original Dune was Fox.
I thought that was a Warner Brothers.
It could be. Yeah, that might be WB.
But even still, you don't want to... I just think it's foolhardy to...
No, Dune's Paramount.
Paramount, right. That's right. So, but I just don't think you want to go against...
Legendary.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Who owns Legendary, do you know?
No. But probably Paramount.
Maybe.
But I just don't think you want to go against that movie head to head. I think it's a bad idea.
No, not with how well 2 did. And
right. So I think you're going to move that out of that spot. You probably move it into
May.
The spring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tricky. It's. But again, this is the type of shit too that we run into where when you consolidate these studios, right? There's going to be less and less big releases because they're not going to compete with themselves. And now anything WB is being, now that that's under the Netflix banner, I mean, what's left? Really? There's no one left to carve up. Nobody's going to be able to buy Comcast.
No.
Nobody's going to be able to buy Disney.
No. And then you're going to have your streamers, right, that are putting out content as well. So
right.
You got your Amazons and you got your Apple, right? You got those large conglomerate streamer services that aren't going anywhere. They'll be able to always maintain on their own. So you're going to have a lot of competition in the streaming space, but you're not going to have a lot of competition in the movie theatrical release space anymore because it's going to keep on getting consolidated. And again, I don't care if theaters stop. I don't. It doesn't matter to me either way. Like, again, I had my childhood with theaters. Now, as an older adult, I don't care about movie theaters anymore. Like, it doesn't matter to me. It's not something I need.
I just don't think they fit in the modern world. Even pre-pandemic, I just don't think they have the same place in the modern world that the studios or even the director. Like, I understand the want for them, but I just don't think that they fit in modern society the way that they used to.
Yeah, and I also think that, part of it is, we don't have that Hollywood celebrity, like there used to be, right? That movie star. We don't have that anymore. So I'm, watching at home is the same as watching it at the movies, because again, you could say, well, you got to watch it on the big screen because, hey, they're larger than life, right? But they're not larger than life anymore.
No.
So that's the thing. You don't require the theater anymore because it's not the same experience. That experience is over with.
And then the other thing that I think hurt it was even with the, those blockbusters, so to speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Disney Plus did all this Avenger Marvel shit on TV, what made those movies special is gone.
Right.
So it's like there's no benefit to going and seeing them in the theater than to just watch them on streaming.
Right.
And clearly that's the case if Netflix has the scratch to be able to buy Warner Brothers.
Yeah, and I also think that you're going to watch if it's a one of the things that when I was young was that if the movie was really great, you would go multiple times. People can't afford to go multiple times to movies anymore.
No, it's $36 to go with one other person.
Right. But if you have it on your streaming service, you're going to watch it multiple times, and the streaming numbers are going to be astronomical because of all the people that are going to be watching it over and over again if it's a really good movie. So you're going to see the explosion of those streaming numbers, but people aren't going to continuously go, and you can see that like every movie. Like I talked about, I mentioned earlier, we mentioned Wicked for Good. Wicked for Good is hovering a little over 400 million for the amount of money it's done. It's a flop. It's a massive flop. And I said a year ago on the first one, even though it did like a little over 700 million, I said that should have been $1 billion movie.
Well, I think what's surprising to me is that, I think all of us were under the assumption that believe me, it's not for lack of marketing, because that shit was everywhere.
Absolutely.
But I think the problem is the spectacle of the theater is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe 5 years ago, Wicked Part 1 and Part 2 would have done over $1 billion.
Yeah. Yeah, but you also but the other thing you have to look at is the sharp decline from week 1 to week 2. Almost every movie is like 70% drop from week 1 to week 2.
Right, because there's always going to be your diehards that want to go see it in the theater, right? And they're going to go the first week.
They want to go see the movie when it first comes out.
Right.
So because
they don't care about the theater experience, they just want to see the movie.
Right.
So you'll get your week 1 numbers.
Right. So you'll get everybody front loaded to go see the movie because that's the only place that you can go see it at the moment. And then once all the real fans of that particular movie, there is no more word of mouth that really carries movies anymore. That's why almost every movie is in such massive decline in that second week, third week, because everybody that wants to go see it, and a lot of it is negative word of mouth, but you look at something like Predator Badlands, right? Predator Badlands, it came out and the critics were raving, the greatest, the most money that any Predator movie ever made. At the end of the day, this thing is going to lose $60 million because word of mouth was, it's okay. But, everybody went to go see it. It was front loaded. It massively fell off a cliff. The word of mouth was, it's okay.
But
and
even,
that's it.
even okay or pretty good isn't enough, anymore. It's just not. And,
not for the cost of going to see the movie.
And the only things that are doing well right now are the occasional kid film will hit a home run.
Yep.
Right? And that's pretty traditional. Like,
right.
Yeah. And the anime stuff.
Yeah. And, again, we're about to get, the third Avatar, and I guarantee that'll do, $2.5 billion probably. But
it's a relic.
Right.
Right? And I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna call it right now. I don't think Avatar Fire and Ash does the numbers that Avatar 2 did.
Probably not.
I don't think it's going to make more than Avatar 2.
Yeah.
I mean, because here's the thing. You had Avatar 1, right? Huge.
Mm-hmm.
From a technology standpoint, from a, not that I think the story is particularly good, but again, the tech really is what boosted that. So you have that.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Avatar 2, which is, again, with the water tech and everything.
Right. That was...
But we've seen it. Right? So you can only show us the sideshow so many times before it stops becoming fantastical, right? So now you're asking us to sign up for Avatar 3, and I'm sure it's going to look amazing and everything.
Sure.
But we've seen it.
Right.
And you're not bringing anything to the table that's groundbreaking this time, right? Like, sure, the water was groundbreaking in 2. You don't really have anything with Part 3. And now you're asking us to just rest on the story, which is arguably the weakest part of Avatar.
And that's it's going to do the same.
I think it'll still do well. I think it'll do well over $1 billion.
It'll do well.
I just don't think it's going to do Avatar 2 numbers.
No, but the problem is that it's going to start to go the way of Marvel. All the fans are going to go, and then people are going to start to say it's not as good as it was. Like there's something missing. I'm not as high on it anymore.
It's not even that there's anything missing. It's just that you've pushed that tech as far as you can.
But what I mean by that is if the tech isn't bringing you in, then people are going to fall to the story. And people are going to realize the story isn't really good. It's a visual, feast for your eyes is what it is. And if you're not getting new tech, if you're not getting something never seen before, then it's like, okay, well, visually, as great as it looks, I've seen it. There's nothing new. I'm going to focus more on the story, and when you do that, you're going to realize, well, this is really shallow. This is not... There's no real depth to Avatar.
Yeah, but even Cameron has said, I have 4 and 5 in the chamber, but if this doesn't do the numbers it needs to do, then we're done. Right,
exactly. And eventually it's going to get to that point. But even if it doesn't, even if it stays, okay, that's an anomaly. That's an outlier.
Right.
Just like, yes, we can get some good kids' movies. Right now, video game movies are doing exceptionally well.
Yeah.
That's what is popular right now.
Well, you got the new Mario loaded up. Mm-hmm. You got the Zelda movie loaded up in the chamber. So, I mean, that's the thing is that, and these are IPs that the big studios don't own.
You have the new Mortal Kombat, right? Street Fighter, right? You got the image. Again, like it or hate it, the images of Street Fighter is pretty spot on
looks good.
The movie may be terrible, but they nailed what the characters are supposed to look like.
And
so
here's the thing:
people are going to go.
If the budget isn't $300 million, it doesn't have to clear $1 billion to be successful.
Right. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, the thing with Doomsday, your break even, I'm gonna say, is $1.5 billion before you start making a profit.
Yeah, you got to figure between the actors' salaries, the cost to make the movie, the marketing.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to be talking about well over $1 billion.
So at the end of the day, is it worth? Let's say you make $1.8 billion, right? And so let's say you made 300 to 500 million in profit. was that worth it? Like, I'm just like, is that what we're striving for now? Like, just few $100 million in profit, just to keep on pushing that budget astronomical?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a tricky. We're in a tricky spot, and I think the other half of it all is if Netflix were to consolidate everything. I mean, now you're paying a cable bill for Netflix,
right?
It's $50 a month for Netflix now. Like, is that a fair price?
Well, if you're getting all first run movies that you never have to pay for the theater again,
that's cool. But at the same time, it's like you're starting to get up into that cable price point.
Sure. But that's what they're going to weigh. They're going to say, okay, well, if you were to watch all these movies in the theater, it would cost you X. So your subscription
that's
is X.
Because nobody's going to watch all those movies in the theater.
No, but that's going to be the justification is why the price point is what the price point is. Because that's what I think they're going to use as kind of their logic behind it. But, again, hey, they said they're going to keep, the theaters going. They said that they have no intentions of shutting down the studio
for now.
But when the guy who's the co-owner of the thing says his despise of theaters and streaming is absolutely the thing, it's I think
the
it's
writing's
just
on the wall.
Right. Absolutely. I don't think that's going to last much longer.
All right. Well, with that one, let's put this one to bed. Jim, as always.
Yep.
Thanks for coming on.
Oh, of course.
What do you got going?
Yeah, I'm just working on the artwork, just trying to get stuff out. So stop by the socials and take a look, leave a like, leave a comment, say hi. Be nice to talk to everybody and get some, if you appreciate the artwork, it goes a long way, means a lot.
All right, everybody. So that's probably our last one for the year, I would say. As always, CatalystCrafting.com is the main website. Catalyst Creations NH is the Etsy store. We're up at the Mall in New Hampshire. We'll be posting on social. We got a whole list of cons we'll be doing this year. We got a whole new slew of products coming out next year too, so be on the lookout for all that stuff. Thank you guys for sticking with us, listening. Another year done.
Much appreciated.
We'll be back next year for season 5.
Oh, crazy.
But what do you guys think? Did you watch? Are we in a Stephen King renaissance right now? Maybe.
Did
you see Black Phone 2? Was it necessary? I don't know. What are your thoughts on Netflix buying Warner Brothers? I mean, is this a good thing? Are we going to get the greatest TV and movies we've ever seen now, or is this going to be bad news for consumers? Let us know in the comments. All right, crew. Happy holidays, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah, happy holidays.